Should wholesalers get their real estate license in 2022? Now, I have my personal opinion on this, but I'm going to share mostly factual information so you can make an educated decision if it's right for you. But before we get into it, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Should we get our real estate license for 2022? Now, let me start this out by saying, since I've been in the business in 2003, I've been told, Rick, you've got to get your real estate license. You know who tells me this? The internet tells me it. All of social media tells me it to me. Realtors and brokers say I absolutely have to get it. And all the professionals and title companies. And here's the reality is, when people just tell you to get it, you've got to have a reason for getting it. 9 times out of 10, they're telling you to get it because somebody told them it was a good idea, or they have a license and they want you to flock like the sheep and be just like them. Now, I'm not here to fight people and saying, if you are in a state where it absolutely requires a license, just do it. End of story. You got 48 states on the mainland here. There's only like 2 or 3 that absolutely require it. I'm not here to explain it to you on this video. But I'm telling you, for the most part, you can transact wholesaling on any real estate deals throughout the entire country without any issues, as long as you're ethical, honest, and you're transparent. If you're going to do it and you're going to do it above board, you're fine. If you're not going to do it above board, it doesn't matter if you get your license. You're going to have issues no matter what you do, and the license will not protect you. So I've heard it since 2003. I've never got my license. My personal belief on this, and I'll tell you right now, unless your state requires you, and stop taking everyone's word for it, go look up your state statutes on getting a real estate license and see if you have to qualify to do it. Now, for the most part, it's not an issue. The reason people want to get licensed is they believe they can regulate unethical wholesalers, and they think the license is going to fix it. It's not. A license is just a fee the state's going to charge you to try to regulate you, to try to get like really bad people out of it. I know licensed people that honestly, they do really bad business. My problem as a wholesaler is I'm focusing on getting great deals. The license is really geared towards real estate agents and brokers. And it talks about their ethics, the professionality of it. It doesn't really apply for what we do, and I'm going to show you how that works. Before we get any further, you have to ask your question, why would I consider getting my real estate license for wholesaling specifically in 2022? Okay? Now, if your answer starts with anything like this, well, I heard, somebody told me, Facebook told me, Instagram told me, this investor said, if you do not have a direct source that has some sort of factual information, please disregard it, because there's so much fear mongering going out there right now that if you believe everything everybody tells you, it's just really hard to operate in this business. So if you heard it on the internet, or I heard, or they say, anybody can type anything they want on the internet. It doesn't mean it's factual, so stop taking it for word. The saying going out there is, you get your license, it protects you. I'll be here to tell you, you create a lot of other problems if you get your license. Ask yourself, why am I getting this license? If some guru is shoving it down your mouth and they have a solution for you getting your license and doing like a double closing, or they'll offer you funding, understand they are trying to create a solution to the problem, and the only way they can drive sales is to push you into fear. Okay? I've never had any type of issues doing this. I'm going on 20 years now. As I said, as long as you're a good person, you're ethical, you're honest, wholesaling is a complete legitimate business. Now, there are a few bad apples that spoiled it for everyone, but I cannot sit there and monitor them. And I'm going to be honest with you, licensing is just going to give them more permission to try to do worse things. Ask why you want to get it. And if it's I said, move on, because get the factual information. Go in your state, pull up the statutes on real estate licensing and read it. It's not that long. It's really easy to read. And if you don't have time to read that, then wholesaling might not be for you. Don't let anybody fear you into getting your license. The challenge is when you get your license is, are you getting it because you think you're getting around a regulation? Because you're probably not. The purpose of a license is to regulate real estate agents and brokers. Okay? So let me give you an instance here. I already tell you guys, I am strongly against getting a license as a wholesaler, because once you cross that line, now you're regulated. You have to keep your license active. You have to be sponsored by a broker typically. And then you're going to get stuck into all the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, which, to be honest with you, they are being sued for antitrust lawsuit, which means they're basically strong-arming everyone in how they do listings and buyer's agents, and they need to fund all these fees with your dues. A lot of the MLS, now I own a brokerage, it's like $4,000 or $5,000 a year. We have to pay to get access to this information. You are in a age where you do not need a realtor to get this information. When I started in 2003, I had to partner up with a lot of realtors to get stuff done. I had to get listings. I had to run comps. Today, in this environment, you don't need them for any of this stuff. It's all one click. You can do everything. You run your comps. You can do a listing. You can do a flat fee listing. You can do whatever you want. When I started, you couldn't do that. So I kind of understand why some people got their real estate license way back when, before the internet was really pronounced. But in today's age, you don't need the help of the realtor. If you decide to get your license to try to skirt around any issues of regulation, you are now open to a scrutiny of the real estate board. And basically what a real estate board is it's different for every county, every state, is if there is a violation, and a violation is simply a realtor complaining on you, a title complaining on you, a buyer, a seller, anybody complains about you, it goes to your broker, they put in a formal complaint, and then you have to respond to it, almost like a lawsuit. Sound familiar? And then you sit in front of a board, and they're going to decide your outcome if you're guilty, if you violated anything. And remember, it doesn't mean you break any laws. It just means you broke the rules. And you're part of this professional regulation, and you have to keep them happy. Not only will your regular real estate transactions be under scrutiny, anything you do on the wholesaling side is fair game. So if somebody complains about an assignment agreement, you theoretically can lose that assignment and pay a penalty fee on top of it. Also keep in mind, you're going to have to consider insurance. Did you guys ever think about this? There's what they call errors and omissions insurance, E&O, and that runs anywhere from $70 to $150 a month. And that means if you got one little typo and a lawyer wants to take you to town and they file a complaint, then they're going to go through your broker, and then you're going to raise their policy, and they're going to get upset with you. Guys, there's so much scrutiny when you become licensed. It's basically like you have a new mother and father, and they're going to regulate everything you do. Also, you have to comply to all the new contracts, all the new documents, disclosures. My God, the amount of disclosures as a realtor, you have to tell everybody that you're seriously considering your business, that you are a licensed realtor. If you don't, you are breaking the rules, and you can be fined for it. All your marketing, all that great stuff we do as wholesalers, now that you decide to get your license, you have to disclose it on every single piece of marketing. Postcards, letters, signs, anything you do, you have to put your license number there, and they have a format that you have to follow. And honestly, for that reason alone, I don't like it, because most of my sellers that sell to me, they don't want to work with real estate agents. So the minute I tell them I'm a real estate agent, they're probably going to bypass my marketing piece and go on to the next one. So I know a lot of you are thinking, well, Rick, if I become a licensed realtor, then I can list my own properties. Well, time out. Did you get into wholesaling to list properties? Because that's a whole nother world. And honestly, if you want to do it, go do it. To try to do both, it's going to split your attention. And what are you going to do? Focus on a $3,000 or $5,000 commission when you can be making $50,000 deals all day long in wholesaling? I already know the answer to that. Guys, if you're worried about leads that don't qualify for wholesaling, just partner up with a realtor and get a referral fee. Rick, how much should I get on that? Anywhere from 25% up to 50% for a bona fide listing. Any agent in the world is happy to pay you. Okay? It's a marketing fee. They don't pay you on the HUD, and you can sign an agreement with them. Okay? If they tell you, well, I can't pay you, Rick, because you're not licensed. Well, you don't get the listing. End of story. I have a marketing agreement. I've spent money to get this. If you want to do it, here's our marketing agreement. Okay? You can do a flat fee, whatever it is. I'm telling you guys, don't chase around the nickels and dimes and lose the $1,000 bills, because when you go get your real estate license, you open up, it's kind of like a gateway to doing real estate transactions. And if you're watching this channel, you are not going to achieve financial freedom by doing low-end real estate listing. Honestly, unless you're required by your state, I think you're absolutely nuts just to go out and get your license. And guys, I've been told since 2003, I wasted so much time on it. I'm trying to tell you, I've been in this business a long time. I love wholesaling. As long as you're doing it with integrity, ethics, and you're honest, you should have zero issues. If you're going to hide stuff and do fraudulent stuff, a license is not going to protect you. So I think a lot of wholesalers think if I get a license, I'll keep the state off my back. It doesn't work that way. Honestly, if by you getting a real estate license as a wholesaler, you actually take one problem and you create a much bigger problem. You can lose assignment fees. Anything you do in real estate investing, people can complain on you. You know why? Because you're licensed. And when you're licensed, you're regulated, and you cannot avoid answering the board. And they will make a final judgment on you. It doesn't mean it's illegal, but if they don't like what you're doing and they don't think something was disclosed right, and odds are you're going to miss a disclosure as a new realtor, they are going to put your wholesaling business in jeopardy. And honestly, you are going to kill your marketing by disclosing you're a realtor on there. You're going to scare sellers away. Remember, we're looking for motivated sellers with challenging houses, stuff that we can help fix for them, solve problems. There's a reason they don't go to realtors. By you getting a license, you think you fix one problem, and the reality is you just create a new one. I don't want that for you. If you're going into 2022, think clearly. Unless your state enforces you get a license to do any real estate business in there, please don't do it. Now, if you want to be a realtor, knock yourself out and do it. If you can separate them, if you're a husband-wife team, one can be the wholesaler, one can be the licensed realtor. That's probably the best way to do it. You have to have a separation of powers. Other than that, you're going to pay a ton of fees, you're going to be regulated, and you might create a problem you didn't even know exists. What do you think? Are you going to get your real estate license for 2022? I'm not, and you shouldn't either unless it's required by your state. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if you're getting a license or not. Guys, I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.